Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts, because the solitary wolf brings to you from the Netherlands with love, the Wolf's Analysis. Hello lone wolves, how are you doing? I've got some complaints from subscribers that I'm too close to the mic. And one of those subscribers even said that it sounds like I'm deep-throating my mic. And that's not really what I had in mind when I'm talking to you guys. So I decided to back off a little bit from the mic, and I'm afraid this will cause a little bit more echo. But yeah, let me know if this is an improvement or not. Basically the most complaints were about my voice that sounds a little bit too bassy, and I can understand that. So let me know what you think about this, and this video will be a little bit more backed off from the mic. So, have you ever wondered why so many smart, beautiful and educated women are still single? And how come that there's a whole army of amazing, funny and gorgeous females that are condemned to their Ben and Jerry's and watching Netflix every night with their cat, instead of being with a man? Well, I found a woman and she has got everything figured out. But before we continue with the main topic, blue pill man, cocks and manginas, grab your wallets, because I'd like to share with you today a new dating trend. This new dating trend totally suits you. It's called sneeding. Now, what's sneeding? A serial sneeder, who remains anonymous, explains it in a New York Post.
I'm hardly the first person to think of this. It even has its own dating term, sneeding, which means sneakily chatting someone up solely for the purposes of a free meal. But I'm committed.
Also, she says,
I don't date guys who I don't think can afford to pay. And if my Prince Charming happens to appear as one of these Tinder matches, I am open to getting to know him more, as long as he is paying.
Well. Women exchanging female attention for resources. I thought there was a name for that. I think I forgot. Anyway, what would you do when your date turns out to be a sneaker? Leave your comment below. And let's go to the main topic. Jennifer Still, managing editor at magazine The Bold, has revealed the reasons why so many of these fantastic women are still single. The bottom line is, most guys just aren't worth dating. In the article, Jennifer explains us what the problems are that she as a successful woman encounters in the dating scene. She says,
We have so much to offer a potential partner and the world at large. We are strong, ambitious and totally self-sufficient. Meanwhile, guys seem to have thrown chivalry and romance out of the window and assume that they can get away with the bare minimum. No thanks, they can take that laziness elsewhere.
Woo! You are strong, ambitious and totally self-sufficient. So what did you have to offer again? I really don't see it. I think that you don't understand that no man is getting turned on by this. On the contrary, who likes a megalomaniac who thinks that she is some kind of god sent to the world? What you're saying is actually the same as a man saying, Oh, I have so much to offer to a potential partner and the world at large. I'm sweet, caring, nice, and I'm very good at vacuum cleaning and doing the dishes. Well, looks good on paper, but it doesn't turn a woman on. Let's take a look again what Jennifer has to say.
We have so much to offer a potential partner and the world at large.
Wrong.
We are strong, ambitious and totally self-sufficient.
Are you serious?
How do you expect men to be chivalrous and romantic when women have such attitudes? Not to mention that many of these strong and independent women have been riding the cock carousel and have a body count higher than myself when I was playing James Bond GoldenEye in multiplayer mode. You have taken away all incentives to be chivalrous and romantic, and men assume that they can get away with the bare minimum because they are offered the bare minimum. A comment below the article by a guy called Jarrell says it perfectly, and I quote,
The most beautiful thing in a woman is her soul, and they forgot to work on that.
End quote. Well, Jennifer, I understand that in your mind, by getting educated and getting a great career, you are automatically entitled to a man that is even more successful as yourself and earns more as well. The reality is that you have priced yourself out of the market. Most men are not going to work harder because of your entitlements. And the ones who do are a bunch of complacent beta males that want to prove their worth to you. And that's what you want, right?
Since we know our worth, we won't accept anything less than what we deserve from guys. They need to be on our level in every sense of the word. And if they're not prepared to do that, we're not prepared to date them.
Here's where you fail. You don't know your own worth. You are completely delusional in regards to your own worth. You project what you see as worth in a man on yourself, which is money and status. But men and women are not the same, because you are attracted to powerful, ambitious men with good careers and fat wallets. It doesn't mean that men like the same characteristics in women. On the contrary, in general, men like it when a woman needs them, when they can provide for a woman, protect them and take care of them. It makes them feel a man. And there's nothing great about arrogant, driven, career women like yourself who demand their man to be in the same rat race as you and to be at the same level financially and career-wise. It makes you look unfriendly, snobby, and not feminine at all. The masculine males that you are looking for, the ones that can handle a strong and independent woman, do not want you. They rather want a feminine woman. And that's what you don't seem to understand. A comment by Mario says this, and I quote,
This article practically confirmed the red pill movement's worst fears of the idea of monkey branching. This self-absorbed, stuck-up, entitled princess attitude that a woman deserves the absolute best.
End quote. Let's see what else Jennifer has to say.
We've got busy careers, amazing friends, loving families, and passions to pursue. Our schedules are booked solid. That means if we're making room for a guy, he better bring something new and worthwhile to the table. If he's just looking to get laid or wants to hang out until he figures out what he wants to do with his life, he can go elsewhere.
Of course, what you are doing is marginalizing a man before he even becomes part of your life. You see him as an infiltrator of your amazing, busy life. He's a mere accessory that is only there to serve, that has to bring something new and worthwhile to the table. But with that attitude, don't expect much. Probably he will see you as nothing more than a pump and dump, because you have nothing interesting to offer a man. So why women like you are still single? Commenter Joel Abella says this, and I quote,
You basically answered your own question. Have fun being alone for the rest of your life, and I would invest in having 3 cats for company and keep them until you hit your senior years, because that will be the only company you will ever have.
End quote. So let's see what more Jennifer has to say.
Thanks to feminism and our ability not only to work, but to take on positions of leadership in our careers, women are now able to provide ourselves all benefits husbands used to provide us.
So that's the point. You don't need a man. And if that's so, what's the point of a man being with you? To hear you talking all day about your amazing job? To listen to your boring stories about you pursuing your passions? To talk about your amazing friends and your gorgeous independent girlfriends? Seriously, what are the benefits for men to pursue you? Except sex.
We don't need a guy to spoil us or buy us a house. We've got that locked down already.
Well, if that's so, why do you insist on a man having at least as much money, education and status as yourself? In other words, you don't need a man because you have everything you need, but you want a man of status and resources. Do you see how absurd this is? And that absurdity alone will get most of the men running.
We don't even need a husband for kids. If we really want to become mothers, there are ways to achieve that without having to tie the knot, with someone we'll just end up divorcing a few years later.
You're right, Jennifer. There are other ways to become mothers. You can freeze your eggs, for example, hoping that Mr. Right will come along in the future. But since your sexual market value is going down as fast as your looks after you hit the wall, don't expect much of it. What strikes me is the egocentrism in your statement. Look, in your mind, when you decide that you want kids, you expect the world to provide you with a man to have kids with. And you can dispose of this man whenever you feel like it. But what about the child? What about the father? Don't you think it's better for the kid to grow up in a stable family? Have you ever thought about that? I guess not. I guess you don't care, as long as your whims are satisfied.
Well, gentlemen, if you have ever wondered why all these amazing independent women are still single, now you know why. But as an eligible man myself, being in the top 0.1%, I would rather go back to the 14th century to die of the Black Death than date a woman like the one in this video. Moreover, constant nagging and boring stories about their careers will give me erectile dysfunction, and then I won't be able to screw my young feminine bimbos for the weekend. So, Jennifer, I am sure you'll find the man that you deserve, which is Felix the cat.
You're on point, Chadwick, and I'm going my own way again, gentlemen. If you like my channel, please like, subscribe and bang the bell. You can also follow me on Twitter. If you like my work and want to say thanks, please consider donating by PayPal or Patreon. I want to thank these recent donors. You guys are great. And if you don't want your name on the screen, please let me know beforehand. My email is walkwiththewolf@outlook.com. Thank you for listening. Keep it solitary. Goodbye.